So let's get to that woman's horrible article that she wrote. She said, op-ed, Elizabeth Warren brushed off Bernie Sanders and taught a masterclass in handling sexism. This is her article in the LA Times.
Yeah,
today.
I've read some of this. Yeah, I saw
You
this.
have?
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's,
Have people already been criticizing it on Twitter and things?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's how I saw it. Like, somebody retweeted it, and they were like, wow. Like, I think I saw it from Abby Martin's Twitter feed.
So she tweeted this out. This is her tweet about that article. Elizabeth Warren's refused Bernie Sanders. Anyway, so she tweeted it out, and underneath it, Abby Martin did. Maybe this is where you saw it. She says, "This is outrageously stupid. You just created sexism out of thin air."
Yeah, that is where I saw it. Yeah, I saw Abby's thing, and then I went and I read the article, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what this article did.
This article
did. It did this complete reinterpretation of how that event went down.
Well, it's like the New York Times when they were saying they were having a debate about whether women.
Right.
They didn't. That didn't happen. That at no point did that happen. They both agree women can be elected president. There's no debate about that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the article. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. We've already said everything probably we could say, but I just want to show you how crazy this is, and it gets printed. This gets printed. Wow. Imagine if Bernie Sanders wouldn't shake her hand last night. What would be going on today? Just think of that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from her article in the LA Times. But Warren was right to confront Sanders on Tuesday, not least because it showed she's in fighting shape for November. You mean she's ready to smear people in a dishonest way? Keen, even-tempered, quick on her feet. She got dismantled on a podcast multiple times.
Yeah, you also you must not have seen that appearance she did at her own event where somebody yelled out something and she stood there like a deer in headlights.
And Ayanna Pressley had to come rescue.
Had to come bail her out at her own event where you have security there for you. You have people all around you holding up signs with your name on them.
And you know what else she has? A microphone.
A microphone. And you don't know what to do when somebody yells something.
Keen, even-tempered, quick on her feet, and she addressed sexism in the campaign with imagination and subtlety.
You mean lies?
Remember, I guess that's Trump's capacity for sexism was considered one of his strong suits as a candidate in 2016. Watching the Tuesday night kabuki in slow motion, you can see that Sanders, who's notoriously irritable and suffers from cardiac issues, was riled by whatever Warren said and by her refusal to be touched. So when he put his hand out to shake her hand, that's her refusal. He wanted to touch her. That's how she's framing this. Bernie wanted to touch a woman, and she refused to be touched.
Yeah, well, whenever you go in for a handshake and someone refuses your hand, no one's ever been bothered by that before.
Right.
No one's. I mean, who has not? Whenever that happens,
that's off-putting.
That's very off-putting. It's not the right thing to do.
Right.
You know.
He shook a finger at her. It's in the article.
Yeah.
That makes Ruby laugh out loud. A woman sitting here just automatically laughed out loud by a piece written by a woman, unironically. Funny. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
When you're unintentionally funny to other women while fake defending a woman, you're losing. He shook a finger at her. Then again, he seemed intent on freeing her right hand to grab it. The fuck?
This could be an Onion piece. This really could. Like, this could be in the Onion. All it would need is like a slightly crazier headline.
Yes.
And it'd be like, oh yeah, this is an Onion piece where they completely reinterpreted what happened at that event.
He shook her finger.
Yeah. He was having a conversation. He said, yeah, you and me, like that's all. And he went in for a handshake. She refused it, which is very childish and immature to do.
Yes. Okay. Okay. We all know this stock male move. Come on, baby. Give me a hug. We're still friends.
He didn't ask for a hug.
He's doing a... By the way, she's just slandering all men. You know how all guys do this shit? Could I write an article say, that stock fucking woman move that bullshit women do? Where they take that stock that women do. She just says that men like this is just a man hater. I'm sorry whatever happened in your life, Julia, but you shouldn't be writing. You shouldn't have access to the LA Times because you have problems. Sure, during the debate, Sanders has gaslighted Warren over whether he told her a female candidate couldn't win the 2020 election.
Which he didn't.
Which he did.
There was no gaslighting. There
Right.
was a discrepancy over what was said.
Right.
That's what there was.
Which, can I just say this? Who gives a flying fuck? Like, did that discourage her? And if she had so much invested
Right.
in that statement,
Of course she doesn't.
Why didn't it come out immediately?
Yeah,
Right. And,
exactly.
Right, exactly. Why did you wait till the fucking day before the debate?
It's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2 years later.
But now he wanted her to forgive and forget. If he could be seen shaking her hand, he might be off the hook.
She's the one who brought it up.
Yes.
Her campaign brought it up.
Warren didn't play along. Sanders huffed off.
No, I didn't. I shook hands with Tom Steyer. Took a lot of patience. Shake hands with that guy. He's a billionaire. Bought his way in the race. I'm supposed to pretend like we're friends.
Sanders comes over, extends a hand. She takes it back, and he's the asshole.
Yeah.
It's
That's
amazing.
the summary of this article.
Panic over being canceled is very real. This is in her article. Panic over being canceled is very real, especially for ruling class men like Bernie. This is in the LA Times. Ruling class, you know how Bernie,
Yeah. Yeah, you know. He's,
you know how Bernie's always advancing the agenda of the ruling class.
I'm the king of Vermont. I rule Vermont with an iron fist. You want cheese, you come to me. You want deer meat, you come to me. Ruling class Vermont. I have a vacation house owned by my family. You can see the water. Because I rule.
You know how you can tell Bernie's not part of the ruling class? Because the ruling class has been trying to destroy him his entire career.
Yeah, that's a clue.
That's a
Yeah.
tell.
That's a big clue.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just read it again. Panic over being canceled is very real, especially for ruling class men like Bernie, who, despite his socialist tendencies, is also a millionaire and a U.S. senator. Wow.
Panic over being canceled is very real, but I'm writing this thing
So,
anyway.
yeah. So Bernie, at almost 80 years old, has real estate that he's inherited. Some of it, the other, I don't. It's just crazy.
Well, it's like if you're a senator, you have to have two.
You have to have two homes,
immediately. And then the
immediately.
third one is like a family vacation
Right.
home that's like in his
Yes.
family.
Yes.
So that's it.
Yeah, I know.
And
They're counting those houses as his millionaire
right
wealth.
And he wrote a best-selling book, maybe because he's one of the most popular politicians in the world,
by going against the ruling class.
So it's like, yeah,
I heard he has a throne in all three homes.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, well, there is that, and then all the coats he has too.
Mm-hmm.
But Sanders, in his fear, couldn't summon anything like the humor and irony of SNL or the self-awareness or the good-natured affection. He wanted Warren to perform for him.
What?
He reached out to shake her hand.
They're running for the president of the United States.
Steph,
Everybody.
Bernie wanted Warren to perform for him when he shook his hand, when he put his hand out. That's him wanting her to perform for him. Do you see this woman needs serious psychological help? Do you see that children shouldn't be allowed in her care? And oh my.
I don't even get the humor and irony of SNL line, but
No,
just for
me
the record,
neither.
Bernie recently had a great appearance with Larry David, and he also had a
Yes.
great appearance on The Daily Show.
Yep.
So she's not making any sense there.
Sanders' dispute with Warren had erupted, and then she says what it was. And then she ends that paragraph by saying, Warren confirmed the story. So that's it.
So that's it.
So that's it. The person who planted that story also confirmed it. Oh, I guess that's it. Sanders' aides then called CNN's and Warren's account a lie. A lie. And she put it in italics in her column. A lie. Pretty strenuous protesting too much denial of something. So by Bernie saying it was a lie, she's calling that you're protesting too much. That's what
You're protesting too much against the people that brought up a conversation that happened almost 2 years ago for political gain.
Yes.
You're protesting too much.
She says pretty strenuous protesting too much denial of something that could have been handily mitigated. If Sanders had more composure, he might have confirmed the report too. Don't we all think he said something close to what was reported? Fuck no, you delusional twit. No. But I'm sure whoever is the ruling class guy who runs the paper you're putting this in and who's paying you thinks so. I'm sure the 1%er who's paying you and who hired you to put you in his ruling class newspaper, who you're now working for the ruling class guy doing the bidding of the ruling class. Isn't that the ultimate irony? She says he's fighting the ruling class and you're doing the bidding of the ruling class. Just because you're a white female doesn't mean you also can't be a tool of the white ruling class. You are. In fact, you are the... Don't we all think he said no?
That's why there's a disagreement occurring.
That's why MSNBC doesn't agree. Micah Brzezinski, she's a woman. Joe Scarborough. Everybody at MSNBC's panel, there were 2 other women. They all thought this was bullshit. Instead, his campaign distilled to a poisonous brew all the current male anxieties about gender with that one word, lie. On Twitter, pro-Sanders botnets drove the point home with a classy lying Liz hashtag.
There were a lot of other hashtags, too.
Yes. CNN is garbage.
CNN is trash. Refund Warren.
In Iowa, Sanders bloviated. Could you be more transparently ridiculous how you frame everything? So Sanders is bloviating. Watch this. In Iowa, Sanders bloviated when the inevitable question about the report surfaced. Quote, anybody knows me knows that it's incomprehensible that I would think that a woman cannot be president of the United States. She calls that bloviating.
And then when he walked away, you could see the skin crawling of everybody around him with his broness.
That's called bloviating. That's him answering a question. He's bloviating.
Did you say that? No, I didn't say that, and that's ridiculous.
You know who else is bloviating?
This woman.
This writer.
Then he said, how could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president of the United States? That's him bloviating. Him supporting women is now bloviating. So you can't win. And when women do this to Bernie Sanders, do you think this encourages more guys to be women allies like Bernie has been his entire career? Or does it make men who might be on the fence say, fuck this? Right? You tell me, Ron.
That's a valid question.
Does this encourage guys to stick their neck out to help women and advocate for women? No. This has the exact opposite effect.
But we know that Bernie's not advocating for this tool.
Yes.
That he's
for her.
Right.
Yeah.
He's working for the voiceless. He's working to champion
the powerless. And
yes.
actually she's working in the aid of the powerful.
Yes.
She's in a newspaper owned by the ruling class. And why did they let her in there? Because she's doing the ruling class bidding.
And I'm answering your question about, does that make a politician who's male necessarily want to champion female rights? And I think we know that this is not going to at all change the way Bernie Sanders is working for the working class.
Right.
Yeah. Not at all. He knows what he's up against. He's up against the machine.
Right.
Well,
and this is it. Ironically, this is the machine coming at him in the form of this woman writing.
Yes.
Yeah, and for every article like this, there's a bunch of people who came to Bernie's defense, a bunch of women who came to Bernie's defense.
Sanders' move to the general case did his alibi no favors. And the moderators from CNN, which co-hosted the Tuesday debate, clearly didn't buy his rejection of the reporting. Hey, the guys who printed that bullshit story, they stood behind it.
Mm-hmm.
That...
They printed something based on some anonymous reports, and they really wanted to stand by that. Because last time they got caught doing that, it didn't go well.
Copying down hearsay isn't reporting.
I wanted to read that to you. It's just I almost, I mean, it's not the whole. I left a lot of crazy shit out too. There's more batshit crazy stuff in there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the bar's been set. First,
Hey, come see a live Jimmy Dore show. We're going to be in Tempe, Arizona, Sacramento, San Jose, Miami. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets to all of our live shows, and go to jimmydorecomedy.com/join to become a premium member. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support.